Good evening, everyone. So at this point, with approximately 3 weeks left until the first Seder night of Pesach, I assume most of, if not all of anyone who is listening to this short video has already started preparing for Pesach. The ingredients list, the matzah calculations, how many people are at the Seder, how much are people going to eat, how many gallons of grape juice or wine do we need. All these calculations and preparations are in full swing. And I've always found that part of the excitement about getting ready for Pesach is that it doesn't just come. You have to prepare for it. You can't come in to Pesach flying by the seat of your pants. You're just not going to have food. I actually know a story of someone who had their Pesach plans changed at the last minute. So the person ran to the store, and the only thing that this guy could find leading up to Pesach was jarred gefilte fish, matzah, and grape juice. And that was what this person had for the remaining 8 days of the holiday. I think the person said they got invited out for a meal or two, and that anything that was put in front of them, they ate because it was something different than gefilte fish. There are two interesting quotes from our rabbis, from the sages, from Chazal, that relate to the holiday of Pesach. Of course, there are many more, but we're just going to discuss two of them tonight. The first one is from Tractate Pesachim, Meseches Pesachim, on Daf Vav Amud Aleph, Folio 6a. And the rabbis tell us that 30 days before the holiday of Pesach, a person should be involved with the study of the laws and understanding the special mitzvos, the commandments that relate to Pesach, full month before. Yet there's another excerpt from our rabbis in a different tractate, Meseches Megillah, on Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, Folio 32a, that says something different. It says, you study the laws of Pesach on Pesach, you study the laws of Shavuos on Shavuos, you study the laws of Sukkot on the holiday of Sukkot. So, which one is it? These two statements from our rabbis seem to be in direct contradiction to each other. So which one is it? Tonight I'd like to suggest that both of these statements from Chazal, from our rabbis, work hand in hand. They're simply discussing two different aspects of the holiday experience. The quote from Meseches Pesachim revolves around how do you get ready for a holiday? So in addition to the food supplies, let's say by the holiday of Sukkot, you have to build your sukkah, you have to get your four species, the arba minim. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to prepare. Same thing by Pesach. Not only do you have to buy the matzah, do you have to prepare your kitchen, do you have to make sure that you have the proper ingredients, you get rid of all the chametz, the unleavened bread, anything that is not Passover ready, you got to get rid of it. You have to make sure that it is not in your possession. That's all things you have to prepare. But our rabbis are saying, make sure you study the laws. Make sure you're prepared for the holiday itself. Don't just come in assuming that you remember everything from last year. Check the ingredients lists again. Check the food lists again. Things change from year to year. But also make sure that you review the halachas, review the laws. Make sure that you're prepared on a spiritual level. In fact, this year we have a unique situation that doesn't happen every year. The day before Pesach, Erev Pesach, happens to be Shabbos. So ask your local Orthodox rabbi what you need to do this year that's different than any other year. This year we'll have a fifth question at the Seder. How is this Erev Pesach different from all other Erev Pesach years? But that's how do you get ready. The Gemara in Meseches Megillah, our rabbis are telling us, okay, you got to the holiday. Now how do you make the most of your experience? So you have to talk about Pesach on Pesach. You got to talk about Sukkot on Sukkot. You can't just assume that you're going to just absorb the experience of the holiday if you're not actively engaged in its study and focusing on maximizing the spiritual potential. So, for example, by Pesach, this means that since the theme of the holiday is the exodus from Egypt, we need to make sure that we spend time thinking about it. We spend time discussing it. We spend time meditating on the fact that God took us out of Egypt and He made us into a nation. I don't think that's ever happened to any other group of people before. You have people who are going from one dominion to another, but they don't necessarily have autonomy. They don't necessarily have emancipation. And they certainly don't always have the right to go wherever they want to go. There's certain groups of people, such as the Yazidis in Iraq, they just go from being oppressed from one regime to another. They don't have autonomy. They don't have emancipation. They can't get up and leave and move to a better country. But the fact that God did this for the Jewish people, that's one idea we should think about and should meditate on during Pesach. If you really want to be ready for Pesach, ladies and gentlemen, we need to make sure that not only are we preparing our physical needs, not only are we preparing our spiritual needs, but to maximize the experience of this Pesach, we should make a point to study Pesach on Pesach. Have a wonderful week, and I hope that your Pesach preparations go smoothly, easily, and are meaningful as well. Have a great week.